Hello, everybody, and it is finally time. In just 2 days, we will have the kickoff of the NFL season. But first, here are week one power rankings. Before you jump into it, just want to say to subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. Leave a like and comment down below your top 10 teams in the NFL. Let's get it. Starting things off with the honorable mentions, those are going to be the Colts, the Bills, and the Rams, all for their own reasons that won't go into because it's just honorable mentions. Number 10 is the Baltimore Ravens. And yes, they were in the AFC Championship game last year. They were a fumble away from potentially making the Super Bowl, but I have them down at number 10 to begin this season. Listen, they lost a lot of key guys and the only real addition to this team was Derrick Henry. And for as much as I love watching Derrick Henry play, he can't be your only piece of addition when he's this up there in age. Their team played in phenomenal last year, but because of that, they have an entirely new defensive staff, and it's going to be interesting to see how they coach this up and how the defense looks this season. They're still led by the three-headed monster of Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, and Madubuike, but at the same time, an entirely new defensive coaching staff comes with a learning curve that is going to be interesting to see how they play. They get KC week one. That's going to be a great game to kick off the season on Thursday Night Football. And the Ravens are a team that should be able to stack up again. I just don't see it because of all that they lost, and mainly because of their passing game. Their receiving room didn't look to get any better per se, and they were already 21st in passing yards last year. Of course, with how good Lamar Jackson is on the ground and now adding Derrick Henry, you might be able to subside that, but for now, the Ravens come in at number 10. Number 9 is the Dallas Cowboys. And hey, you finally got that CeeDee Lamb extension completed. Now you need to figure out what to do with Micah Parsons and how to get his contract extended, as he only has 1 year left on his rookie deal, plus a potential fifth year option. Dak Prescott is on the final year of his deal, and what kind of feels like is going to be his final year in Dallas. Mike McCarthy is potentially on the hot seat. You lose Tyron Smith to the Jets in free agency. You lose Tony Pollard to the Titans in free agency. You get back Trayvon Diggs from injury, which is a massive get to that secondary, pairing him up with DaRon Bland, who had a great season last year. And you get an extra home game. You had 8 home games last year, now you get 9, thanks to the whole 17-game season. And you were the best team when playing at home last year. So hopefully it helps, but yeah, I'm just not high on Dallas. I still think they'll be a good team just because that's kind of how Dallas is, but we've seen this story before. But yeah, Dallas comes in at number 9. Number 8 is the Cincinnati Bengals, and I don't think there's a better way to put this offseason for them than just weird. T. Higgins, he did eventually sign that franchise tag, so he's going to play, albeit reluctantly, and therefore want to prove he's worth a big money contract. Jamar Chase is currently not practicing as of the recording of this because he wants to get his big money contract. So that's a situation you're going to have to juggle next offseason. Joe Burrow was healthy through an entire training camp this time, so hopefully you don't start off slow as a team, or more so as an offense. But you do lose Tyler Boyd and Joe Mixon, who are two pieces to this team that are going to be missed. No two ways about it. Are going to be missed there in Cincy. But overall, I still do think they're a top 10 team entering week one. We just have to see how they actually start off the season this year, and hopefully it's not the patented 2-2 start with a loss to a random team like New England. Number 7 is the Houston Texans, and man, this is a good offseason that they had. I mean, Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon get added to was already a really good offense. And now, like, how do you divide up these touches evenly? Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, John Mechie, who's going to get touches. He played too well in preseason to not in some capacity. Dalton Schultz, who they just extended this offseason, and then Joe Mixon and Damian Pierce. Like, they have 7 really good guys who are quality playmakers on offense. Not to mention the defense with Will Anderson going into his second season and DeMeco Ryans going into his second season as a head coach. He's going to have the defense coming and be playing very disciplined, which I really like. Houston is a really, really good team. They're a top 3 team in the AFC, in my opinion. And they can easily win this division and easily make a run at the Super Bowl.
So yeah, I really like Houston, and they come in at number 7. Might be some backlash, but I have the Green Bay Packers at number 6. They get Josh Jacobs to replace Aaron Jones. I love that move. They bolstered the secondary through both free agency and the draft with getting Xavier McKinley and Javon Bullard, respectively. And this was the youngest team in the league last year, and they nearly made the NFC Championship game. They're going to take a leap all around. Dontavian Wicks, Christian Watson, and Jaden Reed are going to take a step forward in their development as receivers. Jordan Love is going to improve as a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. And we saw it this preseason already, but a guy like Lucas Van Ness is going to start to come into his own. This team is ready to be a threat in the NFC once again. While a lot of people thought that it was going to take a few years for the Packers to find the next guy behind center, Jordan Love seems to be it. And yes, it really only showed it in the second half of last season, but that's what this season is for. The Packers are at number 6, and they can easily move up the ranks quickly. Number 5 is the Miami Dolphins, and there was a lot of change and a lot of turnover this offseason for Miami, but there's only a few I truly want to touch on. Anthony Weaver is going to get the most out of this defense. His scheme fits a lot better with the talent we have than Fangio's did. For the offense, Jonnu Smith is going to be a great weapon for McDaniel to have from the tight end position. Jalen Wright is going to allow a lot more when it comes to how to use running backs, because now we can put Achane out wide, which we did in the Washington game and we have in the preseason. So wouldn't be shocked if he's kind of more so of a running back slash receiver this year. Malik Washington is going to do great for the special teams department as well as a potential receiver 3, while Odell is on IR. When Odell gets back, he's going to be a great receiver 3 for Miami and is going to do what he's needed to do, which is convert third downs. Bradley Chubb is on IR as well, so that's a little bit of an issue for the defense, but Jalen Phillips is back for week 1. I am a Dolphin fan. I admit there might be some bias here, but I have Miami at 5, and I'm confident in that placement. Number 4 is the Detroit Lions, and not a hell of a lot to say when it comes to the Lions. The main thing is Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta are going to get even better entering their second year in the league, and they play a lot of games indoors this year. Like, it's crazy how many they play. And yes, I know their home stadium is a dome, but even outside of that, the amount is ridiculous. The Lions are going to be a good team this year. Jared Goff is a great quarterback, and he gets even better when playing indoors. Jake Bates showed a lot of potential in the UFL, and that's what got him this chance in the NFL this season, kicking for the Lions. It's going to be a great team to watch. They could easily make the Super Bowl this year after coming so close last year to it. The Lions are ready to make a run. The issue is, so are the Packers and so are other teams in the NFC. Can Dan Campbell coach them, and can Dan Campbell provide that energy that they need? We'll see, but I have the Lions coming in at number 4. I thought putting the Packers at 6 was going to provide some backlash. How about putting the Eagles at 3? Yes, this may be way too high for them, especially at this point in the season. But they are hungry. They are ready to prove a lot of people wrong and are ready to get their get backs. They finished the season disappointingly last year, and they are ready to showcase why they paid Jalen Hurts and why they were in the Super Bowl just 2 years ago. They go out and trade for Jahan Dotson. They sign Saquon Barkley. The defense is still that great defense that they have. Philly is going to be a hell of a team to play against and a tough team to beat. The Eagles are going to showcase to a lot of people that you can't sleep on Philly, especially when it feels like Nick Sirianni is potentially coaching for his job. The Eagles are going to be a threat, and they're very easily could be the team to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I got them at number 3. I had no idea what to do with the 49ers until the Brandon Ayuk saga ended. And when that finally did, like 2 years ago at the point of recording this, I'm deciding to put them at number 2. They're a stacked team on both sides of the ball. That's not a question. The question is, can Shanahan get over the coaching hump? This man has had 3 chances to win a Super Bowl and has blown double-digit leads in all 3. And yes, he was the offensive coordinator in Atlanta for 28-3, plus the Garoppolo one and last year. The Niners need to prove themselves and need to get over the hump. They don't have a lot of time left before Purdy gets paid, and he is going to get paid. So this really has to be the year for the 49ers. I think it very well could be. They're a stacked team. And yeah, they come in at number 2. What other team is going to be at number 1 besides the back-to-back champs who are going for a three-peat? It's the Kansas City Chiefs. Xavier Worthy is their main draft pick, and he's going to provide a huge spark to that offense. Hopefully the receiver room is better this year, but even if it's not, the Chiefs can just run it down your throats with Isaiah Pacheco. And again, you have Mahomes, you have Kelsey, you have Chris Jones, you have Andy Reid. They just extended Creed Humphrey, the center. The Chiefs are a damn good football team, and they are the team to beat in the NFL. They're going to be number 1 spot for who knows how long. Like they have a tough test in week 1 against Baltimore, but at the same time, it is the Chiefs in Arrowhead on banner raisin night. Yeah, you'll see predictions tomorrow when this goes up, but yeah, the Chiefs are at number 1, and they're a firm number 1 until proven otherwise.
So there you have a quick little recap: 10 the Ravens, 9 the Cowboys, 8 the Bengals, 7 the Texans, 6 the Packers, 5 the Dolphins, 4 the Lions, 3 the Eagles, 2 the 49ers, and number 1 the Kansas City Chiefs. Those are my top 10 teams entering week 1. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.